Wow! Hello, hello! I'm Alex Mack, part of the Call to Action crew, and I'm here with the ever amazing, ever lovely Miss Abby Freel. What up, boo boo?
Hello, thank you for having me. I have not been on the show yet, so I'm super
Yes.
excited.
Absolutely. I've been wanting to have you on for quite some time, but I wanted to save you for a perfect episode. And so tonight is going to be the night. Tonight is our reactor edition episode of Schmoebates. Schmoebates is the Schmoedown-themed debate show here at C2A, where we fight and debate Schmoedown and all weird topics to the death, essentially. A lot of fun stuff. Now, we do have two really fun competitors, each representing their own, reaction groups per se. So there's going to be a little bit of tension, you feeling me?
Yeah, it's gonna be a little heated.
No big deal. No big deal. Well, let's go ahead and dive into it with some of our competitors. The first one, he is pretty fantastic. He was also, similar to yourself, he's actually been in Schmoedown. He's actually competed in a teams match prior, kind of last minute, kind of hopped in. Definitely representing the Cine Fanatics. It is Mr. Robert Adams. Oh, hello. Oh, you can't hear you. Oh no.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, what are we doing?
I just wanted to give a preview as to what it's going to sound like when Ferris tries to speak over me. You're going to hear nothing.
Oh.
That's what it's going to be because I'm bringing in some heat. I'm bringing in some spice. I'll go right off the bat and say this. I like to argue. I like to argue so much. I'm still single. Let that ponder just a bit. I like to get into arguments, and I like to win these arguments, and I will argue all night long. And as my brother in the chat could probably attest to, I'm not fun to argue with because, well, let's just say, thank God this is timed.
Well, for a second, I was like waiting for a Spice Girl reference when he said, bringing the heat, bringing the spice. I was like, sporty spice, scary spice. And then I was like, oh, we're talking about Schmoedown again. But
no, I'm Old Spice at this point.
I'm
Old Spice.
I feel like we should break down the sentence that you said about why he's still single, but we can keep going. But that was
I was gonna
an iconic sentence.
I was gonna grace past it, because we're classy ladies, Abby.
True,
but
you
there's
are
a lot to dive into with that statement. But absolutely, you representing the Cinefanatics, you're no stranger to debating. Obviously with your brother reacting, Schmoedown like the back of your hand. Are you that confident going into this? Repping not only Cinefanatics, but really going heads against someone from Let's Get Ready to Talk Schmoedown.
Yeah, so here's the thing. You got like a lot of reactors, they like to react or whatever. I like to talk. Like the people that like react to like everything. I'm that guy on crack. So
again, another statement to really dissect. I am on crack. So I'm excited to kind of see you, argue this, like you said, on crack. Okay, well, let's go ahead and bring on our next competitor, repping Let's Get Ready to Talk Schmoedown, and definitely one of my favorite, after shows as well, around right now. He's such an all-around awesome guy and fellow general. It is Ferris. What's up, my dude?
Nothing. Just chilling.
Just chilling.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Yeah,
No big
much,
deal.
Yeah.
Well, you're part of like a large group of, really awesome people with a Let's Get Ready to Talk Schmoedown group, obviously. It's definitely a pretty solid community over there. So are you confident, them being like, hey, Ferris is going to be repping us? Are you excited to, rep the group appropriately?
Nah, honestly, don't really give a shit about them, honestly, like that. I'm just here to rip Robert apart because it's a lot of smack talk this man has been talking about. I don't know why, unjustly anyway, because I've never said anything bad about the man. Like I actually like the Cinnamon Fanatics. They're pretty good. But this man is, he came at me. He came at me sideways, and I'm gonna turn that Cinnamon Fanatic to a Cinnamon dumbass. So we're gonna do this.
Oh dang, that was.
Yeah. And honestly, Robert, I have one thing to say to you, man. Just say no, Robert. Just say no.
No,
okay.
Ferris, you don't need to win this. Does that work?
You know what? Win, lose, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Well, let's That's a lot. That's a lot, guys. All right, there's going to be a lot of ass whooping going into these 3 questions. So I'm pretty excited. If you are not familiar with Schmoebates, thank you so much for dropping by and hanging out with us today. And we're just going to go over some of the rules for tonight's episode. Real quickly, if I can bring up the rules, that'd be awesome. There are going to be 3 questions that'll be debated tonight, with the winner being determined by the guest co-judge, Abby Freel here, and our mystery ghost judge that will be revealed at the end of the episode. If there's a tie, the audience vote will serve as the tiebreaker. The round format is there will be 60-second opening statements from each competitor, followed by 4 minutes of open debate and 60 seconds of closing statements to really wrap it up with a nice bow. The final round is determined by the host flipping an action coin, and they must win at least 2 rounds to be declared, the true winner of the night. Each competitor has 1 30-second time extension that can be used at any time during tonight's debates as well. So that you can use it or not use it at your leisure. So yeah, let's get into it. Abby, my girl, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, I'm not ready. I was just hoping. You'll be ready enough for both of us. Let's do this.
Cool.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the first question, and we'll be starting with Ferris for the first round. And Abby, please do the honors.
Okay. What was the best first round match of the 2020 singles tournament?
And there's a lot of really great matches to choose from. Ferris, you have 1 minute on the clock starting now.
So the match I chose was Adam Collins versus John Roca. The reason is that it was the beginning of Adam Collins' coming out party. His first TKO against Andres Gallegos, it was very impressive. It's a TKO, everyone loves it. But him TKOing John Roca, John didn't actually play that bad. He had 6 or 7 points in the first round. He went perfect in the second due to the fact he spun westerns. But Adam Collins just wouldn't let go, and it was it had drama, it had juice to it. Seeing John Roca get beat like that was very eye-opening, because I was like, whoa, does John still have it? Does John want it be here? So you have that aspect to it. Adam Collins, man, he just showed how robotic and cool and calm and collected he was. And that was the first instinct of someone that, most of us didn't know, just coming like a blaze of fire, like how Ethan Irwin came that one year. And Adam Collins, I was pleasantly surprised by him, because I was like, I picked him to lose in that match.
10 seconds.
So, you know what? I'm going to yield my time. I'm going to yield it. Let's do that.
Oh, yielding your 5 seconds. Okay. So yeah, a lot of focus on, being a big upset, very much a focus on the introduction to Collins as we know him today. Okay. Great pick. And over to Robert. You also have 1 minute on the clock to really sell us on your pick today. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. 1 minute starting now.
So I ask you, not only y'all here in this, but those of y'all in the chat, when you watch a football game, for example, do you enjoy it when the game is just easily dominated by just one team? Or is it like more thrilling, more enjoyable, where you can sit there on the edge of your seat, sipping your beer, scarfing those nachos, all the way to like the final moments of that last quarter, or possibly even into overtime? Isn't it better when one team has something to prove and overcome the odds? And that's the thing with this. I feel like that there's a lot that we saw in, say, Collins or Roca that we've seen before. We have something new that we haven't seen in Ellison taking on Del Rio. And yeah, that's it for me. Yield.
Oh, also yielding the last 5 seconds. Okay, bold move from both of these competitors. Okay, Adam versus Roca and Del Rio versus Ellison. Now, this is definitely going to be a very tough one to sell. Abby, what do you think of those picks so far?
Well, they are both good picks, and the opening statements were very well prepared. I mean, they didn't even use up their whole time. So I think this is going to be an interesting debate.
Absolutely. And something I definitely did notice as well is that so far they both very much focus on different aspects of the match. Ferris is focused on more of Collins as a competitor, his big introduction, into Schmoedown as we know him today. And Robert, really focused on, the drama, the real back and forth, and a little bit of the lead up going into it. So I'm excited to see them expand on that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, we're going to have, 4 minutes of open debate starting right now.
Yeah, so like Ferris, like you just said, that that this was the Collins and Roca was something that we've seen before, like Ethan Irwin. Yeah, we've seen Ethan Irwin do that. We've seen Smets do it. We've seen Oyama do it. This is something that we have seen before. We've seen rookies take on legends.
Same thing with David Del Rio Nelson. We've seen a bunch of close matches that have gone to overtime. That don't make all of them great, Robert. You know.
Yeah. So here's the thing. This is
no. Here's the thing for
match
you. Yeah,
that ended in sudden death.
It's because no one gave David Del Rio a chance. That's why people think it's a good match. Expectations were so low for this match because everyone thought Chance Ellison was going to run over him. Then when David Del Rio played well, I know because of course he didn't, because people underestimated David Del Rio. That's why this match is great,
because he hadn't played in over a year. He played last time he played with Paul Preston August 16th of last year. This match was August 27th of this year.
But no one knew.
Absolutely right. Chance should have ran straight over Del Rio, and he didn't. It was a fight all the way into sudden death. Chance also had to overcome his habit of losing round one single tournaments after he dominated the IG tournament and after winning the teams belts. So he had a lot he had to live up to, on top of, again, overcoming his round one jitters, I would say. So yeah, there was a lot more drama in this particular match.
No, there was drama in the
Roca, again.
There was drama. You're seeing a legend being thrown away to the wayside by someone that no one knows about. Adam Collins came in with a blaze of glory, took John Roca out with no remorse, no grandeur, no nothing. He just took him out straight up.
But it ended in a TKO. I mean,
TKOs are very fun to watch because
but
the way he did it, he went perfect. He went perfect.
It goes all the way to the end. Plus,
no, it's not. Who said
Collins is already a high score getter. Again, there's nothing
high score getter. He had one match beforehand. What are you talking about, a high score?
If you were familiar with his expertise in the fan leagues, you already knew he was a high score getter.
But you know, most of these fans that barely watch the fan leagues, which is very not cool. They should. They're very high entertaining matches.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. But most of the people didn't know him like that. Most people picked John Roca to beat him anyway. So that was a massive upset. And I think because he's going to be great, because he's going to beat Jeff Snyder this coming up. So seeing the beginning of his ascension was very paramount, and how it was a good match. It was a great upset. It was also the coming out party for Adam Collins, because we all know he's going to beat Jeff Snyder this.
But it wasn't a coming out. He's a high score getter. It's nothing new. I saw this.
You keep saying that, but people didn't know that, Robert.
But I saw this match when Merle took on Bateman in Atlanta earlier this year. If people didn't know, that means you didn't know the fan leagues. You didn't know what he was coming in with. It doesn't mean like he came into the Schmoedown and all of a sudden a light bulb went off and he's a high score, competitor. He was that the entire time. This wasn't anything new. Again, we've seen Oyama, Smets, Irwin, all of them came in doing the same exact thing. While, again, Chance has never progressed past a round one match. And also, I would throw in the fun of the Ellison Del Rio match. That was the first time that we saw Roxy go head-to-head with Shannon Barney. And that was more exciting.
That was more exciting than the dang match.
The whole match
seeing Shannon rip Roxy apart. That was more exciting.
But the question was, what was the best round one match? That entire video also consisted of Roxy taking on Shannon. I mean, that was the most entertaining one.
See, now you're arguing semantics. Are we talking about the match or the total package?
When you say match, you refer to the entire video, the entire Schmoedown video that was released on
that's your opinion, man. What if people are just talking about just the match? The match was fun.
The match was fun. I absolutely love Chance Ellison versus.
You don't even know his name.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
Yeah. So, hey, man, Adam Collins beating John Roca was very exciting to watch because it shocked everybody. It was like, whoa, John Roca just got TKO'd by a rookie that no one knows about.
And that wraps up our open debate for our first question. And sparks are flying. Absolutely. Okay, so there's a lot of big, bold things that were said in this open debate, Abby. Now, there is definitely again, like I said in the opening statements, they both emphasize very different points. Abby, what were some of your big takeaways, that both of these competitors made in their arguments?
Well, I definitely liked what Robert said about Shannon and Roxy going at it. That was one of the first times that we got to see that. I do think that Ferris had a really good point of this is the beginning of however long this run is going to be with Adam. And I think they both made good points. They were going at it very hard.
Mhm.
So I'm still figuring it out, but they debated well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Both of these, debaters today are very, very passionate, obviously, about their picks. But I have to say, there is something to say about the drama, a lot of the drama behind the scenes that, you see kind of going into the match, because Robert really emphasized, a lot of the drama especially for Chance. He hasn't really been able to, win in any kind of tournament, all that much outside of IG. He hasn't really been able to succeed past the first round. And not only did he succeed past the first round, he made it by the skin of his teeth in overtime. So there's a lot of drama, and also coming off of a huge, amazing win for Corruption with the singles tournament, with the IG tournament as well. Adam, we just knew outside of the fan links, we knew little to nothing about him, and a lot of that is just, a lot of it's kind of hearsay. Like, I heard he's good at this, I heard he's good at that, but, we haven't really seen in Schmoedown if that was going to translate. But that was like the first big match where we're like, holy crap. Wow. Now, something I would definitely love to see, Ferris, you address is a little bit more focused on the drama aspect of the actual match itself. Any dramatical moments, from the moments that really would make it, stand out for me. And because, honestly, I can remember a lot more specific moments from, Robert's pick, but I can't, outside of like the big TKO moment, I can't remember any specific moments from the match overall. So I would love for you to really highlight that. But also, Robert, I would love for you to really kind of focus on what this match meant, for Chance, winning this, but also potentially losing it. What would have that meant for, for Del Rio and Chance, winning or losing? Awesome. So, all right. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a lot to digest. And like I said, our ghost judge, if they have any questions or anything, just want to give you a heads up. We will be asking you that later on as well. Okay. So we started with Ferris before, like I said, with the opening statements, and we're going to be starting with you with the closing statements as well. Now, Abby, I do want to know from you specifically, what does Ferris need to do in order to completely guarantee your vote for this question?
I agree with you about the drama. I think Adam Collins playing John Roca and beating him is insane, and that just needs to be emphasized more, and just like what that meant for Roca. Yeah, that's it for Ferris.
And is there anything that you would you need from Robert as well?
Kind of also similar to what you said. I think that David Del Rio coming in and doing as well, like Chance Ellison is a former champion or current champion, excuse me. And so the fact that David Del Rio did as well as he did is insane, and it needs to be emphasized more.
Okay. Yeah, a little more emphasis in the closing statements. Absolutely. We also had a mention in the chat real quickly. There's a lot of people in the chat that are on both sides right now. But yeah, there's someone that said in the chat, let's see if I can pull it up. If I can find it, that'd be great. Or maybe I completely lost it. Maybe it's gone forever. Oh, there it is. From Nikki Therese. She said, Roca Collins has a greater impact on the tournament and the singles league. So I thought that was pretty interesting to see. Yeah, but there was a lot of love on all sides. But yes, it's a trap. Okay, we're going to go. Oh, and Dean Morgan said Mike versus Perry is the best first round match. So interesting pick there. Okay. All right. Ferris, are you ready for your closing statement?
Yeah.
All right. You got 1 minute on the clock to really sell us on Adam versus Roca, starting now.
Yeah, you said drama. Let's talk about drama. John Roca was down 9-6 going into the second round. And then Adam Collins spun first, got every question right, got 17 points. So it looked like John Roca had to get a perfect good spin for him to make up that loss. He spun Westerns. He got the first 3 questions straight up 2 points. And then he had to check down, knowing if he checked down, it wouldn't be a good look for him because he would have to make it up in the third round. That's where the drama is, because it looked like John Roca needed a good second spin, because every single time, if, like I say, the spiel maketh and breaketh. If the wheel spun on John Roca, like let's say opponent's choice or anything else, let me see. Let me check my notes real quick. Sorry. Because he needed to make up that 3-point gap in the first round. So there's my drama, is that John Roca needed a good spin, and then he kept going, and then John Roca got a good spin. It was 17-13 going into the third round, and then John gets the first question right. We're like, oh, John's coming back. Then he misses the third point
question. Oh my gosh, you're like triggering some like really fun memories for me, for sure. Yeah, after you saying that, you're definitely reminding me there's quite a bit of drama in that match. That's for dang sure. Absolutely. Okay, Robert, you also have 1 minute on the clock to really sell us on Del Rio versus Allison. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Starting now.
So y'all asked, what does it mean for Chance in this? Chance has officially now broken past round 1. Yes, he's not going all the way in this tournament, but at this point, he's already conquered a mountain that he has not conquered before. How was Del Rio's performance? It was fantastic. Again, he hasn't played in over a year, and he took a champion who has had the belt before and was currently the #1 contender for IG and Teams champion again. He took him to sudden death. That's after a year's worth of ring rust built up. And how's Collins an influence on the league? He's an influence on the league just like all the other people who have come in before, who have been rookies coming from the fan leagues or coming out of nowhere to be an influence. I mean, look at Jader. Jader's a major influence. Plus, if you've seen Christian go out of his way to tell people, or more specifically the reactors, to pay attention to a match, it's because the match is an edge-of-your-seat thrilling game, not some run-of-the-mill everyday match. This was not David versus Goliath. This was Goliath versus Goliath.
And time. Ooh, ending it on a nice little quote there. Goliath versus Goliath. Okay. All right. And now that wraps up our first question. So Robert and Ferris, you survived your first question. So
that last statement made no sense.
Yeah, I might need a little asterisk on that one.
That made no sense.
All right. Well, Abby and our ghost judge, they're going to let us know who is the winner of that question here momentarily. So while we wait for that, we're going to wait a few minutes, and we're going to go over to the chat and just highlight a few things that people are saying. Level 2 trading is saying that new rule, competitors should only be able to use stats created by Megs during the debates. Yo, that might be the case. That might.
Hey, what a coincidence.
What a coincidence. Yeah. Also, there's a lot of love for both competitors. A lot of Ferris. Absolutely. And also, just want to let you guys know, you can actually go vote right now and let us know your picks as well. Now, obviously, our judge, Abby Freel, obviously is one of our judges, and our ghost judge is our other one. But sometimes they disagree. So if they do disagree, it's going to go to the audience vote. That will be the tiebreaker. So it's definitely super important that you go down there and make your opinions known. So let us know. Okay. Yeah, some other as well, triggering fun memories from Miss Video Drew as well. I have never in my life taken notes on anything. Love this commitment. And real quickly, Justin is asking, who takes notes? Ferris, do you take notes? Are you a big note taker?
Yeah, all the time.
Wait, I didn't know we're allowed to use notes in this.
Well, you're an idiot.
Or I'm lying.
Yeah, that too. I just want to consult you.
Okay. I was like, Robert, did you prepare with notes? Are you a big note taker? Are you a big note taker?
I am right now.
Oh, good. Okay. I appreciate that. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and double check. Abby, are you a big note taker? You're in college. You're a student.
I do take a good amount of notes, for sure. It's good so that you remember. Your brain's not going to remember everything. So.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so, you guys, it's like I said, it's always important to let us know, vote. Obviously, not only in the real world to go vote and make your opinions known. That's very important now more than ever. But you can also vote right here to let us know who you think is the winner of these particular rounds. Yeah, so let us know down there. And we're actually gonna wait a minute until that happens. But in the meantime, we're just gonna hang out and find out who the winner is.
I like Brienne in the chat. Your mom takes notes.
I feel like this needs to be. I feel like this needs to be said with sass. Your mom takes notes.
Like, like Napoleon Dynamite. I'm trying to save money for college. Your mom went to college.
Like,
Love that
who
line.
didn't say that after? Do you remember saying that all the time, like to your friends or family? Oh, I went to college. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. First, I have to know from you, what's your favorite movie that takes place in high school?
In high school?
A high school movie.
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I love Mean Girls. Yeah.
That's very on brand, considering Miss Movies is right there, for sure. Abby, what about you? Is it Mean Girls, or do you have another pick?
Mean Girls is a top movie for me, but I really love. It's a hot take, but I love Prom, which is like this one movie from 2011. And does anyone know the movie Prom?
It sounds familiar.
Are you saying Prom?
As in the horror movie?
No, it's not a horror. It's PROM, just the word prom. But that's a favorite of mine.
Just remember the Titans count.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's from the point of view of many high school students. Absolutely. All right. You guys do have 30 seconds to go vote. Just giving you guys a heads up. It'd be really awesome if you went and voted. So, yes. Okay. We're just going to wrap it up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, Andres. Thank you for dropping by.
Yo,
okay.
Andres the homie. Love Andres.
Love Andres. Jinx, give me a soda.
No, pass.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So for this question in particular, our judges actually disagreed on the winner. That's why I was like kind of pushing for y'all to vote. And so we do have a winner of the first question, which is 53 over 47% in favor of Ferris. John Roca versus Adams being a better match. Okay, so that means Robert definitely has an uphill battle to climb. That's for sure. Is it uphill battle to climb? Is that it, Abby?
Yeah.
Is that what the saying goes?
Yeah.
Uphill battle? Uphill mountain to
It's
climb?
harder to go up.
I don't know. I don't like mountains. I don't climb. I don't know. I timed it, Jake. I timed it. Just want to let you know. On my phone. Okay, we are. So yes, definitely repping. Let's get ready. Good job. Good job. We are going to be going on to the second question right now. And Abby, will you please do me the honor in reading your question?
Yes. Inspired by the Wildberries match, what former team do we want to see in a Civil War match?
This question hurts my heart.
Memories.
I don't like. I mean, what was your reaction when the Wildberries, when that whole situation was announced? Did you cry? Did you scream?
I've been heartbroken since Shannon announced she was taking Elliot Dewberry, and this recent announcement has just taken my broken heart that was already broken and just shattered it into more pieces. So
am I the only one who didn't really care when they broke up?
Yes. You are the only one, because it is
based on that alone. That's it.
It is 100% heel moment of the year. Absolutely.
I'll say this: if they broke up the Real Rejects, that would piss me off.
But they didn't do that, so lost that one again.
I'm using an example, Robert, to correlate the Wildberries breaking up to the fact that I didn't care about the Wildberries breaking up.
Oh, snap. Okay, guys, this is we're not gonna. That's a whole other debate we're gonna be going on. Yeah, Ferris with a scorching hot debate, hot take. I mean, all right. This time around, we are gonna be starting with Robert for your opening statement. You have 1 minute on the clock to let us know your pick for a potential Civil War match. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, starting now.
So, I mean, regardless of what I said in question 1, everyone agrees that we like a good solid match that will leave us glued to YouTube until that final moment. This typically happens when you pit 2 evenly matched competitors against each other. So asking y'all, what former team can you think of that has an A player? If y'all are familiar, A player, stronger, B player, not as strong. What former team has an A player and a B player? I'd say critically acclaimed is a prime example of a definition of an A and B player. But above the line, it's not so easy to see who's more dominating in that, leaving them to be more of an entertaining match to see them go head to head on that Civil War. Plus, there might be a storyline still left unsolved.
10 seconds.
We would all want to see. That's it for my opening.
A solid 7 points. 7 seconds yielded, at the very end. Ooh.
No.
I disagree, Brienne. I disagree.
Who wants to tell Brienne that is what? Because I love you, and Brienne, what?
Players.
They are absolutely both A players. I feel like that's a fight right there waiting to happen.
That's
all right.
Next Schmoebate.
That's a 100% the next Schmoebates. Yes, I would love to see that happen. Okay, well, Ferris, you also have 1 minute on the clock to let us know your pick as well. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, starting now.
The team that I actually want to see an actual Civil War about is critically acclaimed, because I always thought about it this way. William Bibiani is the 75-year-old billionaire, right, who throws away his 25-year-old marriage with his beautiful wife of 25 years to replace her with a young, fine tenderoni of 35 years old. That's Brendan Meyer. This is a juicy storyline waiting to happen, because the way Bibbs treated Whitney Seibel, which was unfairly, unjustly, and really messed up, because people assumed that Whitney was the B player. How do you guys know that? Because they both have massive amounts of knowledge. But how do we know? Whitney probably messes up a rule there, rule here. Who cares? He probably needed a teammate who knew all about the rules, like that trash Ben Bateman. Create a heel team that way. So that's why I want to critically, because you have a story there, and that is juicy story. Unlike Above the Line, where there's not really nothing there. It's just Sam Levine and Drew McWeeny coming back to play trivia. It's nothing there. There's no juice to it.
And
there's no
time. Ooh, no juice, no passion. Oh, man, I really want to fight right now. Okay, so, man, I really want to fight so bad right now, but I'm going to remain impartial like a good judge. Like a good judge. Abby, are you trying really hard not to, throw in your...
I'm like, I wouldn't have even chosen these teams, so I still have my, thing, but they...
What would have you chosen?
I'll get back to you, because it wouldn't have been those teams, but I don't know what I would have done. Mm-hmm. Maybe Shire Wolves, just for fun. But anyway, back to the debate.
Yes, we gotta refocus, recenter, because we can fight over this all day long. Yeah. Above the Line, critically acclaimed, both fantastic teams, obviously, both iconic teams. Above the Line, obviously, is including Drew McWeeny and Sam Levine, both belt holders and great individual competitors as well as team players. Critically acclaimed is definitely one of those teams that I feel like they never really got the respect they deserved overall. Because they were always really, really great, but they never really received the belts. They never had the thing that really got them over the hump, per se. Overall, there's a lot of points that I'm excited to see them talk about, potential storylines. I'm excited to see them, talk about, what the circumstances would be to bring them back together. But also, I think you kind of mentioned about the idea that has to be an A versus B competitor specifically. So I'm kind of curious to see you kind of dive into that. Abby, is there anything in particular you would love to see them argue in their open debates?
Yeah, I'm kind of confused by the A versus B player argument, because if one's an A player and one's a B player, that's not really an interesting match. So defend or keep going with that one, that's kind of what I want to hear about.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys got to really sell Abby on that idea of, an A competitor, B competitor, and what that kind of insinuates as well, and what kind of match we can come from that. Okay, well, you guys do have 4 minutes of open debate. Let's get to it. Starting now.
Honestly, Robert, if you wanted to pick a team with technically A players, is what you said it, you really should have picked the Shire Wolves. Honestly, there's more juice to it. There's more knowledge there. No, because Drew McWhinney was always underwhelming in singles. He was 4-5. He had a losing record. Sam Levine was the man who carried the team. With me, it's about the juicy story because we forget this is more than just trivia, right? We love the trivia. We love the match. But we also love the storyline, the juice behind it, and the way Bibbs just kept talking behind Whitney's back, kept talking to Brendan Meyer all the time. It was like, hey, Brendan, how are you? Hey, let me help you out, Brendan. Brendan this. And then Whitney catches him like a man catches his wife cheating. You know what I mean? That's why. That's how it is. You got more juice with it because we need a storyline with this match. Just like the Wildberries, there's a storyline with it. Every Civil War has had a storyline. The Action Army Civil War with Team Action, there was a storyline right there where Drew felt like Ben neglected him. Same thing with Whitney and Bibbs. Bibbs neglected Whitney. He neglected Whitney, and Whitney's gonna come back, and I want to see Whitney come back and shove it in Bibbs's face, saying I was the A player. You left me. It was a bad decision because if I had Brendan Meyer, we would do the exact same thing you did with Shazam. Because Brendan would have done the strategy and Wendy would have done the knowledge because they're both vast amount of people with vast amounts of knowledge. That's why. Above the line, it's just going to be trivia. There's nothing there. It's going to be like, hey, Drew, how are you? Hey, Sam, how are you? Let's just answer some questions. That's all that's going to happen. There's
so
nothing
let's go back and answer what they were saying. Strong A and B player. Let's bring in some numbers. In round one
Who cares about this A and B player? This man, we're talking about a trivia match.
In round one, Bibbs versus James White. Bibbs' accuracy was 93.8. Whitney versus Barbarian. Whitney's accuracy was 73.3. There's a huge difference, thus causing an A and a B player. Plus, the storyline between critically acclaimed was over when Whitney played Brendan Meyer.
There it is. It wasn't an actual Civil War. Bibbs pawned Meyer off.
Let's move on to
Bibbs
above
was
the
scared
line.
of Whitney.
Let's move on to above the line. McWhinney versus Riley in 2019. McWhinney's accuracy was 82.35. Levine versus Cushing in 2018. Levine's accuracy was 88.89. That is much closer, not necessarily giving away who is A and who is B. Plus, there is an unfinished storyline that they were building onto and they didn't do because McWhinney retired. They still left it with McWhinney feeling hurt by Sam retiring and thus having them vacate.
That was underwhelming, man.
But it wasn't. It was started, but it wasn't ended. There was not an official conclusion for it.
I didn't care. It was underwhelming, man.
It still exists.
Exists now. It's died off.
It hasn't.
Yeah, it is. Because no. The critical name one got brought back when you see Shazam.
I'll make my one final point about why it hasn't died off in my closing remark. But go ahead.
That's fine with you, man. Because the critical acclaim beef is being reignited. Because what Shazam has been doing, right? Whitney's probably sitting there seething, like, you know what? I could have done that. I do.
Shazam is fantastic.
I do. I don't give a damn about Shazam.
Shazam has the title right now.
Who cares?
Who cares about Whitney versus Bibiani anymore?
Because I want an actual justification. I want an actual resolution. I don't want Meyer Whitney because that's not the resolution I wanted. I wanted Bibbs Whitney because Meyer was used as a pawn by Bibbs because he didn't want to face Whitney because he knew Whitney was going to take him out and show that he was the real A player.
Whitney's going to take out Bibiani with a 73% accuracy.
One match. We're talking about one match. Let's talk about a match. Their title match against Shire Wolves where Whitney had 7, Bibbs had 9. It was very close. You act like one match is going to tell the difference. What if one night Whitney gets a set of questions? We talk about all the
10
questions
seconds.
with these matches. What if one person got a good set of questions the one night and Whitney goes perfect? You don't know this. You're speaking in hypotheticals. I want an actual resolution to a critically acclaimed Civil War.
Time.
Sorry.
I will mute you.
Sorry.
Okay, so that was a lot of back and forth. This is definitely by far one of the most passionate matches I've hosted. Abby, there's a lot to dive into. What were some of the big points that really surprised you in their arguments?
I think both of them, when they were debating whether or not people care about the conclusion of critically acclaimed, if I'm correct, y'all were debating that. Yes. And so it was interesting to hear that one person thinks it's not concluded and the other person did, and that people don't care. So that was interesting just to hear those two things in that. I'm just trying to think of what else happened. It was so passionate. I was just invested, but oh my God.
Yeah. that was definitely a lot to kind of take in. Also, there's definitely a little bit of back and forth. A lot of people in the chat are also very, vocal with their opinions as well. Dean Morgans, has mentioned Bibbs wasn't scared of Whitney. He needed a better teammate to win his team's title. Ooh,
that's like your opinion, man.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
We never got the JT versus John Harris match that the Lawns team partner is. The prize after JT came back from injury. That's true. Oh man, with that chipped tooth. Oh man, that's rough. Miss Movies herself said it was Brandon that seduced Bibbs. How dare you?
That's what he wanted you to think, Brienne.
Also, Realm Herald saying, Shirewolf Civil War would destroy me. I'm kind of curious. There is a lot of, love for the Shirewolves, Ferris. I'm surprised you didn't pick them.
Why?
Yeah, because you said you kind of mentioned several times. So why didn't you pick the Shirewolves?
No, because Shirewolves.
Can I say I'm surprised too?
No, they're just like above the line. Like it's trivia. We love the trivia. But there's no juice to the story. Oh, it's just Clark and Rachel facing each other in trivia. That's cool to see. Cool. But we keep freaking about it's also a show, and I need some juice and hatred within the storyline. You know what I mean?
Think that there would be juice or anything or
like,
drama in that match? Oh man, we're not going to get into that. That's a whole conversation, and I do not want to get into this as a judge. Woo! Okay. Okay, so Abby, we're going to be wrapping this roundup with the closing statements in particular. What do they really need to emphasize in their closing statement to get your vote?
Robert, I need to hype up why Above the Line is the better team. I feel like he spent a lot of time attacking critically acclaimed.
I can do that.
Yeah.
No big deal.
And then Ferris did pretty well. I think just why it would be interesting to see Bibbs play Whitney Seibold, because Robert did have a good point about Bibiani has been proven to be the stronger player. So why would that be interesting if it would be like a blowout? So.
Yes, not kidding. All right, so there's some really great points, that Abby definitely needs to be, addressed in the closing statements. And also our ghost judge is kind of curious as well. They want to see what sort of impact it would have on the league if this Civil War match were to happen. So please address that as well. All right, we started with Robert for this question, and we're going to be wrapping this roundup with Robert's closing statement as well. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, you have 1 minute on the clock, starting now.
So what kind of impact would an above the line Civil War have on this? One, it could possibly bring McWeeny back out of retirement. Maybe just because it would bring him back to a level where he's satisfied with his position within the Schmoedown and on a path to regain that belt. So going to what Abby was asking about building the hype for this, it's an evenly matched competition, a lot more evenly matched than critically acclaimed. Easily, that again, entertaining. They are going to be more fun to watch due to that story and due to the level of competition and knowledge both of these gentlemen have. Plus, if Christian was all of a sudden right now on Twitter and everything announced that this match, this Civil War was happening right now, this second as a pay-per-view, we would stop this Schmoebates episode and every single one of us would hop over there and watch it right now. And that's why the hype is huge. I yield.
Oh, yielding the last 11 seconds. Bold move. Okay. That's quite the assumption as well. Have they seen the drama in this episode? I don't know.
That is a good question.
All right. Well, Ferris, you also have 1 minute on the clock to really sell us on a critically acclaimed Civil War match as well. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Starting now.
Like we talk about how it would impact the league. It would flip the image of Whitney Seibold if this match goes in Whitney Seibold's favor, if a Civil War actually happens. And then we can also add their partners into it as well, like Alonzo Duralde and Brendan the Kid Meyer. They played a close match as well, so we have also that tether storyline connected to the bigger storyline. Then we have Deep 13 and Shazam, and then let's say Deep 13 beats them, and it just shifts everyone's image of Whitney Seibold into a positive way because everyone's like, oh, Whitney's just there, but he knows knowledge, right? And if if Bibbs and Whitney go head to head and Bibbs takes Whitney takes Bibbs out, everyone steps back. It's like, oh, so what? Whitney was good. He just needed a little bit more season, a little more, like, you know, not a season, but like smoothing out the edges. And I think it would be good because there's storyline above the line. They're just there. It's just trivia. Everyone would watch it because they would love to see the trivia match between Sam Levine
10 seconds.
and above the line. And the reason people would watch it right now is because Sam always says, I'm never coming back. I'm never coming back. So when he comes back, it was like, oh, I'm going to watch it. But with Whitney and Bibbs, it
And
would be great 'cause the
time.
trivia-
That's it, Ferris.
Sorry.
I feel like that just made my point.
Shut your face.
I understand you're passionate, but when I say time,
My apologies.
please wipe the last statement from the record. Just want to point that out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Over to our judges. They're going to let us know, you know, they're going to let us know who is the winner of that question as well. You know, I do also want to remind you guys as well, you know, you do have the rule of 30 seconds of additional time. You can totally use or not use at your leisure. Just want to point that out to you as well. You can use it anytime. You can go also let us know your opinions as well by voting right there, you know, here at this little link, and let us know what you think. Okay, let us know your opinions. But also, Miss Movies herself says, you know, the real rejects with Greg versus John. Oh, I don't want it.
That would kill me.
I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Now that would hurt. That would hurt. Probably, yeah. Probably maybe
That would be a
little bit
lot of
more.
fun to watch.
I don't want it. It's that would just painful. Overall, oh man, that was a really fun one. Abby, I kind of want to know from you overall, what do you think of these competitors? You know, they're going into their third and final round overall. So what do you think of these competitors, you know, and their picks, their confidence, you know, and everything going into the last one?
Yeah, I think that y'all have both had really, like, in both rounds, and knowing what your third round picks are, they're gonna, like, y'all have good choices and you guys have good arguments for your choices, and I think you guys are doing very well, and I would be scared to debate both of you right now. So y'all are doing great.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely two very, very passionate competitors, obviously. And, you know, I'm curious to see, you know, how the votes are really going to go for or against either one of these as well. Okay. All right. We're going to go into our third and final question. And again, just want to remind you guys of the 30 seconds of additional time you can totally use or not use at your leisure. But for the third round, we're going to be using this action coin. Oh, whoopsie. Oh, that's it. Yes, it's going to be that question. But we're going to be using this action coin to determine who is going to go first and who might go second. Now, Ferris, you actually won the first question, so you get to pick. Do you want Team Guy or do you want Team Trader?
Took Guy all day.
Of course. All right. Oh, that was a bad flip. Sorry. Oh, sorry, cat. Sorry, cat. It landed on Guy. It was Guy. Sorry, I actually flipped over on my cat. I apologize. So, yes, but it landed on Guy. So, Ferris, would you like to go first or would you like to differ?
I'll let my opponent go first.
Robert, go first? Okay. All right, Abby, would you please read the question?
Okay. Question 3. What Schmoedown competitor would be most likely to survive a horror franchise?
Yes, like Final Girl, Final Boy style.
Yeah.
There's gonna require quite a few skills. Absolutely. Abby, do you have a favorite like horror, like Final Girl in a movie?
Ooh, okay, so this Halloween season, I watched the Scream franchise for the first time.
Yes.
And now it's like one of my faves. And so I really love Nev Campbell in that. So that's my new favorite Final Girl.
Absolutely. That's an amazing pick. I am personally all for what's her face from Halloween. I love her. I feel awful. I can't remember her name.
Laurie Strode?
Laurie Strode.
Jamie
Yes,
Lee
there
Curtis.
you go. I just keep thinking I was like Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't see I see Jamie Lee Curtis. I don't see the character.
Freaky Friday.
Exactly. Yes. She's also like the badass spy mom in that 90s Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
True Lies.
That one. I watch
You should
movies, I
compete.
promise. I should watch movies, I promise.
Alex, I really want you to be in the Schmoedown and just be like, what's her face? That one, like the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'll be like JTE. I don't know, Jane Fonda.
Yes.
That's what I'll do.
Probably.
Yes. What's her face from Halloween? Yes. That's it. Video Drew. It's actually Video Drew is actually the one in Halloween. Just putting it out there. Okay. All right. So Robert, you're gonna let us know your pick for competitor most likely to survive a horror movie franchise. Are you ready for your opening statement?
Yes, I am.
All right. Starting now.
Okay. So sure. Video Drew probably belongs in a horror movie. She would probably love it there, actually. But that doesn't mean she could actually survive one. Does Video Drew, and first of all, I know she's in the chat. I'm talking about Video Drew, the character, not Drew Gant, the person. Love you, Drew. But does Video Drew does she know what it takes or what to do when being chased by a skin-wearing Texas cannibal, or how to react to her friends and family becoming deadites trying to kill her? I guarantee you Clark Wolf knows what to do. She knows how to survive a horror movie in her sleep while being attacked by Freddy. She's got the knowledge. She's got the skills. She's got the years of experience that we can all see on the internet.
10 seconds.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Yielding the last 10 seconds. Again, very bold move. I dig it. Okay. And Video Drew, great pick. All right, Ferris, you also have 1 minute on the clock to let us know your pick. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. 1 minute starting now.
Yes, Video Drew can hang, because Video Drew would actually be, and well versed in the horror arts. To be honest, man, she could be, like a Carrie. Carrie survives. Or she could be she could take her soul out of her body and become a doll like Annabelle. That's what I think. Clark Wolf wouldn't survive. She couldn't hang. Clark Wolf would be Rose McGowan from Scream. She gonna get caught in the garage door, snapping her back in half. That's who Clark Wolf would become. Video Drew would become she's with us, but really she's the killer. She will survive. That's who Video Drew would be. You talking about, Clark Wolf wouldn't be a final girl. Clark Wolf would be the final girl's friend who gets killed off to save the final girl. But Video Drew will survive because Video Drew is a master of this. She's a master of the horror. She's a master of the dark arts. She's a master of everything darkness and evil because she will survive. She will be Annabelle, just a toy waiting to strike. Just sitting there in a cage, waiting to be let loose in her glass box, ready to pounce on your soul.
And time. I just want to make sure. I'm confused. All right, so you chose Clark Wolf, right?
I did.
Ferris?
I don't know. He
yes.
did.
And
I chose Video Drew.
You chose Video Drew. And Robert, what did you choose?
I chose Clark Wolf.
You chose Clark Wolf. Okay, so I had them down the opposite. I wrote them down incorrectly. Okay, got it. Okay. All right.
By the way, this is a lot of fun to do with Video Drew in the chat.
Yeah.
Watching her like hype up Ferris as he's talking has been entertaining.
Please, y'all in the chat, keep in mind this is based off of what we're saying, not a popularity contest. That's great.
Yes. Based exclusively on the arguments here, not a popularity contest. Yes, just want to reaffirm that. Okay. All right. Well, you guys do have 4 minutes on the clock, and I do want to, I do want to kind of, yes, but also it is not a popularity contest. Just want to reaffirm. Ghost Judge, I'm pretty excited to hear if you have anything you really would love to see addressed, please let us know in the private chat. But also, Abby, what are kind of some things that you really need to see discussed or elaborated on in the open debate itself?
Robert, I need you to hype up Clark, because you spent so long talking about Video Drew that for a second I thought you were picking Video Drew.
Same.
So so just explain more about Clark. Ferris, you had some very interesting examples, so I guess and just explain why Video Drew would survive over Clark, which is the whole point of this debate, but like why specifically she would more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so our ghost judge also really wants you guys kind of, follow up. It really kind of talk about how Ferris, he wants you to talk about why you think Video Drew is specifically going to survive and why you choose, and you chose a lot of people who died in comparisons, essentially.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
just want to put that out there.
Okay.
But also, I kind of want to know what specific skill set they have. What skills do they have would come in handy? Do they low-key know how to wield an axe? Do they know how to do the somersaults? Do they surprisingly know how to do kung fu? And they could like kick, Leatherface's ass. I don't know. So we really want to know about the specific skills that they could have, whether it be physical, mental, that they can do in order to survive, a potential franchise. All right. Well, you guys do have 4 minutes on the clock to get debating, starting now.
First of all, did you say Carrie died? Didn't die? She did die at the end. That was a dream where her hand reached up.
Which Carrie movie we talking about?
The original, the only one that really matters.
No, in 1976, that Carrie version, she actually kills her mother. But Video Drew wouldn't kill herself. See, that's how smart Video Drew is. She would survive.
Died.
She would kill her mother. No. See, that's the switch. That's why Video Drew's different.
Carrie died. Moving on.
No, that's why Video Drew's different.
Video Drew does love horror.
Yeah, she does. And guess what?
She would be friends with the antagonists, then survive them. Or
exactly, she would be friends with them. See, her and Jason would be antagonist
herself. Which
that's okay. That means she survives. That means she will survive.
No,
how are you talking about?
Movie does an antagonist live through? The antagonist dies at the end of the horror movie.
What are you talking about, man? They just sent Michael Myers to prison. He didn't die. That happened.
Which one are you talking about?
Exactly,
that happened over and over again.
Thank you for proving my point.
He's died multiple times.
But he's also survived them multiple times.
So, for example, why Clark Wolf is good? She's proven that she's good at horror movie trivia.
Okay,
just because multiple horror podcasts. She's a part of a book club that talks about horror literature and physically.
We talk about movie trivia.
She completed at the beginning of this year. She completed a Pure Bear or Bar, however it's pronounced, Ambassador Challenge. She physically could survive a horror movie. She knows horror trivia. She can physically survive it. She's proven that she knows what she's doing.
Just because you've seen it on the internet, don't make it true. Just because you've seen it on the internet, don't make it true. You're saying this, but how do you know in the real situation when Jason is hunting down Clark Wolf in the woods? How do you know she's not going to freeze up?
How do you know Video Drew can do that?
Man, because I know Video Drew. Video Drew is a savage, man. She would grab that axe and hit Jason upside the head with it. And then guess what?
How do you know Video Drew is proficient with an axe?
Because she told me.
Oh, okay. Video Drew, if you'd like to collaborate that and cooperate that.
You know what I mean? And there's one thing I think, man. Video Drew be like, hey, Jason, what's up? How are you, man? And then she tricked Jason because she'd be like, wait, why is she talking to me like this? I'm so confused. Because she'll be like, what's up, Jason? Then bam, in the dark arts of Video Drew, she takes her soul out and she transforms it to an inanimate object and she survives. Just like how Annabelle survived because they kept Annabelle's dog, but her soul was still in there. And then Video Drew just transports her soul left and right.
Yeah, so Video Drew's been a part of. She was in a horror movie exhibition. She was the first one out of 4 to be out. So, you're trying to tell me that Video Drew knows how to survive a horror movie?
Man, she knows movies. She was watching
more than Clark.
You think Clark Wolf, just because she talked about horror movies, can survive a horror situation?
How do you know this? Multiple shows where she talks to the upper echelon of horror movie actors and directors.
Well, I talk multiple sports. That don't mean I can do every sport.
She's in that realm, and Video Drew was out at the first sight at the end of that exhibition match.
Hey, man, we're not talking about trivia. We're not talking about the trivia, Robert. We're not talking about trivia. We're talking about actual physical survival. Video Drew would do all her dark magic. She would survive in a way. She would actually possess Jason.
Not real, Ferris.
How do you know this? How do you know Video Drew isn't a demonic spirit?
I don't, but I mean, still.
You don't know that.
If she was a demonic spirit, she probably would have won that exhibition match.
Just because she doesn't know trivia makes her not a demonic spirit? How do you know that? Robert, Video Drew would survive. She would survive because she would be homies with Jason. And Jason would be like, you know what? I'm going to go hunt down that Clark Wolf lookalike. I'm going to throw my machete upside her head. That's what's going to happen, man. Clark Wolf, like I said earlier, Clark Wolf is not Neff Campbell. She is Rose McGowan. That's who she is. She will die. That's why.
On what? Because Clark Wolf may fit through a doggy door? Is that what you're trying to say? That's a weird comparison.
Hey, man. That's what you said. That's not what I said. I'm just saying that she's Rose McGowan. That's all I said.
Based on what? You got to have some facts to back this up. We know what Clark Wolf has done. We can
That's
see
just
on the
because you think
internet
she knows
everything
trivia,
that
she's gonna
she's
survive.
done.
Trivia
She's
don't
proven
correlate to
herself
survival.
already. She
And
doesn't need your acceptance.
time. Wow. Okay.
I would have
Thoughts?
said me. I would have said me surviving, but I'm not physically fit for this right now.
Walking away from that debate, I have a lot of thoughts. Okay. Abby, let's start with you though. Overall, there's a lot of focus on one competitor over the other.
Yes.
So I mean, like, okay, what were some things you kind of picked up from that debate?
I'm gonna need more for Drew, just in general. I think that when you were like called her a demonic spirit or whatever, I think maybe or maybe that won't help her, even if it's true. So I think, and also there is an argument in there about how your knowledge of trivia like can help you. Like that's kind of the whole point of Scream, is like they know the movies and then they know what's going to happen. So like there was good points there. I just think I need more from Drew, and then for Clark, like why she would do better than Drew specifically, because there's just okay, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, you hit everything right on the nose. Our ghost judge is also asking Ferris, our ghost judge is needing some hardcore facts from you, and in his final thoughts, because you only argued against Clark without really actively fighting for Drew all that much. And but Robert, I didn't really hear all that much at all about Clark. I really want to hear about specific skills. I didn't really hear all that much about Clark at all. It was just like a lot of attacks towards, Drew, obviously, which makes sense. But I really want to hear, she's so much more than her knowledge, obviously. I really want to put some nuggets in there, but I can't. So, yeah, I would love for you guys to go into that. Now, I also really kind of want to pinpoint as well is that, something I was a little curious about is that you're talking about how Video Drew could be like a potential like demon spirit kind of situation.
Yeah.
I feel like in theory that might go against the idea of a final girl / final boy, because that would make them potential more the villain rather than the hero. But I digress.
You didn't specify like if they're going to be a final girl, but you said survive. That's
true. Absolutely. Yes. Who's mostly survive? Absolutely. That's why I mentioned, that's why I was kind of curious. I was going to see if you were going to dive into that all that much. But yes, I really want to know about the specific skills. What are they going to do to not only beat the villain? How are they going to get away? How are they going to fight him? What are they going to do? Are they going to, what type of, franchise character are they? So we need some actual facts, actual situations, more than just, a focus on trivia and knowledge, which has really been a lot of the focus of the debate so far. Okay. All right. So in this one, we started with the coin did go in Ferris's favor. So we're going to be starting with Robert again. And since it was a deferred, so are you going to be ready with your closing statement?
Yes.
Okay. You have 1 minute. Starting now.
So Clark Wolf has shown that she's able to handle pressure in the Schmoedown, for example, when she exclaimed that the women of the Schmoedown are the league, therefore combating all the toxic fanboys that were saying disparaging things. But the one I really want to point out is that because of Clark and her knowledge and I've said that she's able to physically survive a horror movie. We saw that she is capable of surviving. In fact, actually, she was in a horror movie, come to think of it, Satanic Panic, and she was alive at the end, therefore answering the question to this round perfectly. I yield the rest of my time.
Really, Robert?
You asked who would survive a horror movie? She did.
All right. You want to go there? Okay, we'll go there.
All right, yielding a full 23 seconds. Again, very bold move. And Ferris, you also have 1 minute on the clock to really sell us on Video Drew surviving horror franchise. Are you ready?
Yes.
Starting now.
You know, I think Video Drew would survive because she would probably know the ins and outs of let's say like there's a film, you know, it's all about spells, and Video Drew probably has a Ouija board, you know, and she probably controls the spirits using the Ouija board. You know, that's why she would survive, maybe, possibly, but I think I believe it is. And Robert brings up Satanic Panic. Clark Wolf was only like 3 minutes, and she was like talking to a pizza guy, and that was it. You know, she wasn't even important. The Video Drew would survive because Video Drew would manipulate the killer. She would convince him to move past her, not even touch her, not even look at her. Then she would just mosey on down the road because Video Drew's smart. She'd be like, let me just get in that car and run away and have him kill those other people in the woods. Because Video Drew is a master of manipulation.
10 seconds.
She's very, very great with her words. Very persuasive. If you watched any of our Cinema Bias with the great Alex Mack, you know, very, very good with that.
And time. That wraps up our final question.
Cinema Bias.
It's
Someone.
what's her face?
I don't know.
You know, with the hair, the face. I have no idea who they are. I don't know. I like a face comes to mind, kind of, but not really. Okay, so that wraps it up. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and cool down a little bit. We're gonna be waiting from our judges to let us know their verdicts for the final questions as well. You know, in the meantime, we're just gonna take a breather and do some yoga and meditation after those like fiery pitches. You guys okay? You guys alive?
Yeah.
Ferris.
I think so.
Abby, what do you think of some of these arguments overall?
I thought that this was probably the most entertaining debate out of the 3 questions, just because the conversation really went to a wild place. I liked what both had to say, and they did a really good job of trying to attack the other person's choice, for sure.
True. They would both be also very different types of, you know, potential final girls. One would be trying to manipulate the potential demon, whatever it may be, Babadook or whatever it may be, you know, into becoming her servant or, you know, puppet essentially, versus Clark would be the kind to like essentially outrun it or just survive, you know, like from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that whole situation, because I know she is a long distance runner and I know she works out quite a bit and she is a very fit woman. That's for dang sure. You know, so 2 very different types of, final girls. Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, Jake is also pointing out in the chat as well, nobody used their extra 30 seconds of uninterrupted time. So, ooh, yes. Video Drew, she's also put in the no message, but, you know, a little donation in the chat. So thank you, Drew. We really appreciate it. Yes, she did definitely do a bunch of, you know, love for Ferris and his closing statement. We are going to be wrapping things up in here just a few moments, guys. So definitely let us know your opinions in the chat. If I can find my phone. But all right, Abby, how do you feel about these competitors? You know, fiery, all that passion and everything. How do you feel about these competitors?
Y'all both did a good job. I think that no matter what, the voting has been very like close. Like both times, or all 3 times, it's been like within percentage points. So y'all both did really good. Y'all came prepared with your points and what you were gonna say, and you debated well, and they did good.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. There's a lot of love on both sides. That's for dang sure. Yeah, I personally, on this one in particular, oh wow, whammy. All right. Yeah, on this, you know, on the final question, the final question is my personal favorite, you know, that they're usually also my personal favorite questions because they're the weird questions or the fun questions. Yeah. Abby, how would you survive in a horror movie? You know, or how would you try to survive?
I would really like to think that I could have the potential to be a final girl, but I would be the one that would be like, okay, guys, it's safe. Like, we got to run across the street or something, and then get hit by a car with a zombie driving it. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I would be the one who was like too confident and then like that would kick me in the butt very soon, like in the first act. So that's how I think I would do.
So you think you would be gone like right away, and like one of the first or second people to go?
I think I would be more of a Rose McGowan, or however you say her name.
She died, Abby.
That's my point.
Oh,
okay.
She's also the star. You know, she's definitely the anti-hero from one of my favorite cult movies of the 90s, which is, or is it early 2000s? I'm not sure. Jawbreaker. Oh, I love that movie so much. Have you seen it, Abby?
Late 90s.
No.
Late 90s. Yeah, I like picture it as like 98, maybe 99. She's amazing. Yeah. Her then boyfriend, Marilyn Manson, is in it as a nice cameo.
They were together?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Jesus.
They were together for like 4 years.
Wood.
He was?
Yeah.
That was after Rose McGowan, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He saw her in True Blood and like, hey.
I thought they dated before that, like long before that.
That's actually the fourth question on Schmoebates.
The fourth debate. when did Evan Rachel Wood and Marilyn Manson date? It might have been right before she was on True Blood, but
Marilyn Manson and Sons of Anarchy, that was terrifying.
Yo, that's true.
Seeing him in prison without his makeup, I was like, oh shit. No.
Yeah, he looks like a completely different person, but we just see him in that whole getup, you know, every time he goes, anytime he performs. So the association is definitely there. We did get a super chat, not too long ago, not only from Video Drew, but we also had one from John Lastrina donating very generously. Thank you, my dude. John Lastrina, he said, I agree with Ferris. Too Fast, Too Furious is a beautiful film about two long lost friends renewing their love and respect for each other. Pockets ain't empty, cuz. Am I saying it right?
Yep. Pockets ain't empty, cuz.
I'm not sure what that's referencing, but cool. I appreciate it.
I'll agree with that. I actually did like Too Fast, Too Furious.
It's a good film.
It is a good. I don't know why people hate it because Vin Diesel's not in it. I mean,
no,
I thought it was good.
People just hate on other people's love, Robert. That's literally it. That's what they do.
I haven't seen any of the Fast and Furious sequels. I've only seen the first one.
Alex. It looks like I'm doing a cinema bias thumbnail for Fast and Furious sequels pretty soon.
I have no desire to see any of them, but I'm sure I will one day.
But they're good
I'm
films,
sure I will.
though, Alex.
Let's say my big bias when it comes to certain genres is that I didn't grow up watching many action adventure films, so I grew up watching a father-daughter movie in my household a mother-daughter film in my household was Silence of the Lambs. A father-daughter movie was Primal Fear and Forrest Gump. So what is family
So you're
movies?
telling me 5-year-old Alex, whatever last name you're using today, was watching Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah, when I was in middle school, I actually joined a book club with my mom that was going through medical school at the time, and they were reading through the Hannibal Lecter series. And so I read it with them when I was in middle school.
Dang.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, I love my parents. I do. All right. I just want to highlight some things in the chat. Yes, Lucas is going to make me watch some action films for sure. Yes. Video Drew is saying, I have never seen a Fast and Furious film either. What?
Drew, that's got to be the next cinema bias.
Yeah, I'll be the special guest on it. And
No, you can't be the special guest on it.
Why can't I?
I'll be the special guest on it.
I'll be the special guest on
Robert,
it.
what film would you choose? Which of the sequels?
Out of the Fast and Furious franchise?
Yeah.
I feel like you have to make Drew watch like the first one and then like one of the more recent ones just to blow her mind.
I don't want to say
it
as
easy transition.
Yeah, I don't want to say that this is the one that y'all need to like go watch. You need to watch them all. Like I would say almost in order and get confused like the rest of us where Han actually dies.
It's not that confusing, Robert.
No, it's not. But when the first time you're watching it, it might be like, okay, wait.
Yeah, it does. It does give you a little shot.
Yeah. Thanks for conceding. So I would actually say probably out of the sequels, the fifth one was probably like
fifth
one
one's
of the
great.
best because that's where it really turned into a new direction and set where it's at right now.
I believe 6 is slightly better than 5, but that's my own personal opinion.
Yeah, there's a little bit of love for the fifth one, that's for sure. Fast 5. Yes. Drew says both of you can be on. We'll make arrangement. We'll figure it out. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off.
I mean,
oh shit.
That's the thing. Like here, if you haven't watched these movies, they've been out for so long. It's like one of those.
It's just
let me tell you that Vader is also Luke Skywalker's father at the same time. I mean, just they've been out for so long.
Robert, what
also
the hell?
Vader literally means means father in German. So whatever. So how can you not know? So a lot of love for Fast and Furious franchise overall, guys. We gotta really kind of refocus on on our winners. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and announce our winners and who won each question. So the first question being, obviously, what is the best first round match of the singles tournament? Obviously, with Ferris, winning that first one. The next one being inspired by the Wildberries match. What former team would we want to see in a Civil War match? Being critically acclaimed, meaning Ferris won question number 2, meaning you won tonight's Schmoebates. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. And for the third and final question being, what Schmoedown competitor would most likely survive a horror movie franchise? For actually a clean sweep, it was actually Ferris winning with Video Drew.
What are people thinking?
And that's intense. And yeah, that's an intense love for sure. Okay, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and bring on our ghost judge. And I want to know, real quickly though, Robert, who do you think is our ghost judge?
Seeing how this is themed around reactors, it has to be another person of a reactor community. Obviously, it's not my brother, or it's no one. It's also not anyone from Let's Get Ready to Talk Schmoedown, because that would be a little bit biased. So I would guess someone from a certain point of view, because they're also a current one right now, or possibly Take 3. It could be Schmoedown Rundown. I mean, there's a couple other reactor channels it could go to. So someone who's also in the reactor community.
Can we get a hint?
No, definitely not. I'm going to tell you in like 30 seconds. And Ferris, do you have a prediction?
Do I have a prediction? Nah, I just probably know they don't know who the hell I am, and I'm cool with that.
You cool with that? Okay.
I'm cool with that.
All right. Tonight, our ghost judge was Mr. PJ Kimball.
Nice.
What's going on?
Oh, apparently I'm PJ. Oh, okay.
Now you're fair.
Definitely not.
I'm Robert Adams.
Look,
Hi, guys.
Hi, PJ.
So,
how's it?
Good time. Talking about Fast and the Furious, I was getting, I didn't want to say anything in the chat. I would have given it away completely to Ferris. I love those movies.
Yeah, you would have sucked in
I
there.
didn't want to say it. So, I want to be on that one too. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Drew, apparently there's this is Fast and Furious is a very triggering franchise for a lot of people on screen right now. Very triggering. Everyone's going oh my gosh, yes, I love it.
I want to point out that the safe scene actually happened. It wasn't CGI. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, they actually did drag
They built a car inside the safe.
It's true.
Well, they actually did drag a safe at one point.
That too. They had two safes.
Stuff like the building it went through was a mock-up building for it to actually crash into.
Yeah, and they threw a safe into it.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I love practical effects.
Yeah. In number 7, where they dropped the big RV, they actually dropped a massive RV on the side of the cliff.
Wow.
And then Paul Walker actually had to jump onto a car and grab the spoiler. And as the story has it, if he missed the spoiler by an inch, Paul Walker would have died on set. So the car had to be perfectly spun, and Paul Walker had to be perfectly jumped.
Yeah, much like the match tonight, I'm gonna need someone to fact check Ferris.
No, that's true. That's true. No, you know how I know this? It was on AMA with Debbie Evans. That's who told me.
Okay. Okay, well, we're gonna be good to know for sure. I love fun facts when it comes to movies. PJ, what do you think of our competitors today? What was your favorite question of the night?
I mean, I thought my favorite question was obviously the horror-related one. I thought there was a little bias that other people in the Schmoedown couldn't be considered. The guy who loves horror movies and likes to write horror movies probably could have survived too, but I'll be the Randy in this situation. I'll die in the sequel. It's fine. But Ferris, you had some really good comments about Video Drew being psychic and taking over Jason, and you took me to Friday the 13th Part 7 vibes with the Carrie stand-in, if you will, who fights Jason. So you did well, my friend. And Robert, you did really well tonight too. Mostly, but Ferris won. So
sure.
Well, PJ, is there any particular any answer where you're like, guys, oh my gosh, Ferris, Robert, why the heck did you not pick this answer? You guys have horrible answers. My answer is clearly superior.
No, I think that Ferris especially, I was really impressed with his take on the rivalry breakup. I was a little surprised no one did go for Shire Wolves, just because I think that there is a lot to say about the idea of seeing two of the strongest players we've ever seen in the game go against each other like that. But at the same time, neither of them have played in a while, so I don't know if it would have the dramatic weight as something that you would have seen.
That's why I went above the line. There was more of a story still left unfinished.
Totally.
I don't know why. Never mind.
No, I mean, it was really well thought out. You got through that, man. Smart.
I personally, if I were voting, I would have gone with above the line personally, because I feel like a few more facts were being whipped out a little more consistently overall. And not to mention, I feel like with Sam retiring when he did, that is forever a story that's gone forever. And with Drew McWeeny retiring as well the way he did, I was like, oh. He's breaking all my competitors. Abby, I know you said the third question was also your favorite tonight. Was there any particular picks that you would have gone with instead of, Ferris or Robert's picks for any of the questions?
I think Perry would have been a good one.
Nemiroff.
Yeah. I
She
think
made a horror movie. Smart.
Yeah, true. But so did Clark. Clark was in one.
So she survived one. I mean, that was the question. Who would survive? She did. She wasn't dead at the end of the movie.
She was in it for 5 minutes, Robert.
Well, it doesn't matter. She still lived.
5 minutes.
That was the question.
And her one line was, hey, this piece of guy wants to get pissed on. Who wants to piss on him? That was her line.
That wasn't a part of the debate.
Point that out.
I don't know. Maybe a wild card would be Mike Kalinowski or something.
My secondary pick was Tim Franco.
He would.
Oh yeah.
My secondary pick.
I was very surprised no one said Tom.
Yeah, imagining Tim Franco swinging an axe.
That's a franchise right there.
Like everyone that Ferris knows all of a sudden is proficient at axes.
Hey man, I was talking to Tim Franco last night. He knows his horror.
Yes. Guys, thank you so much for coming on tonight. We are going to be wrapping things up here in a hot second. If you guys, if over in the chat, if you guys have any questions for any of our competitors or our judges, please let us know in the chat. More than happy to answer anything for you guys. But we're going to be wrapping things up over here. Abby, my love, where can we find you in your beautiful face?
Y'all can find me at Abigail Freel on all social media. And please, if y'all have TikTok, follow the Schmoedown TikTok at the Schmoedown.
All day, every day. It's so good. So much stuff. I'm reminded of so many awesome old matches through TikTok.
It's been fun to go through. There's some good old matches coming up that I've been prepping. So get hype.
So much. And yes, thank you, Jake. TikTok.com/the Schmoedown. Yes. PJ, where can we find you and your beautiful face and your majestic library of movies? And also, not to mention, a lot of your dinner picks, your meal pictures. Twitter
and Instagram at PJ_Campbell. Yeah, I cook a lot. Sorry, but it's just fun for me to cook the pictures up, I guess. You guys can find me at the PJ Campbell Network over on YouTube. We do lots of watch alongs. Chris Clark does Suddenly Soundtracks. It's one of the best shows on the internet that people aren't really watching. Go check it out. I really, really want you guys to. And of course, the Moocher Schmoedown. I write questions with Abby, and the writers are human, so be nice when you don't like the questions. That's all I ask. And look forward to the horror free for all, October 30th. I think you guys are gonna like it.
Oh man, I'm so excited. So excited. All right. Robert, where can we find you, your beautiful face? And also you're a part 1 of the Cinefanatics. So where can we find the Cinefanatics as well?
Over on the Cinefanatics YouTube channel, youtube.com/Cinefanatics. We're over there doing movie-related content. I know we're not necessarily Schmoedown focused, but we do the Schmoedown replay, which we will be doing tomorrow night. We will be doing the finale match between Adam Collins and Jeff Snyder. Our special guest tomorrow night will be the Nerd Chronic, Eric Rodriguez. He will be joining us to be talking about all of what's been going on with the singles tournament. So come back. I believe that's going to be 9 p.m. Central Time, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. So come watch that tomorrow. It's going to be fun. This weekend, we are doing a Patreon watch along. If you're on our Patreon, patreon.com/Cinefanatics, $5 tier on up, we're doing a watch along with Andres Gallego on the Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead movie. So that's going to be fun because I can talk about that movie all night long. So yeah, that's what we got coming up. Tagline Tuesday nights, 9:30 p.m. Central Time.
Evil Dead, the whole Evil Dead franchises by far has some of my favorite horror comedies of all time. Absolutely. And definitely check them out on YouTube everywhere. They're fantastic. And the watch alongs are just genuinely so much fun. Love them to death. Ben Rainer, he donated recently saying Fast 4 through 7 are great and Fast 7 is my fave.
He gets it.
Yes.
I agree with that statement, but you got to add 1, 2, and 3.
I love all of them, but 7.
So the entire franchise.
Yep.
That's what it sounds like. And Danny Coast. Oh, let's see if I can find it real quickly. Danny Coast said the boxes, and I assume that's referring to like the boxing, the unboxed box. Yes. Yes.
That's
a lot of love. And thank you, Danny, for your donation.
Yeah. That's definitely Box, which Box 2 is out to the world. Go watch it, and I will not put my head in a grinder.
I hear it's a better sequel than Empire Strikes Back. So.
I mean, a lot of sequels are better than The Empire Strikes Back, so it's fine.
Ooh,
Okay,
next
PJ.
Schmoebates or debating show is up.
I feel nothing for Star Wars. I feel so bad about that, but it's true. I'm sorry. It's just not gonna happen. Over to Ferris. Where can we find you? Your beautiful face, and obviously, where can we find? Let's get ready to talk Schmoedown.
You'll find us every Friday. That's where you'll find me. Shout out to Call to Action for allowing us to be on here. Thank you very much. It was great arguing with Robert. He's a great guy, honestly. Him and his brother Chris. We actually had a great conversation yesterday. Just hanging out with PJ and all the folks. It was fun. That's pretty much it.
Hey Ferris, I think I'm hanging out with you on Friday. By the way,
yeah, PJ will be on Friday with us. I also want to shout out, shout out to Kevin Smets. I fucking love that guy.
Yeah.
Cancer picked the wrong opponent because he's gonna get knocked out in the first round.
Kevin, smash cancer.
Yeah. Kevin, we love you. That's pretty much all I got right now. Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be, I believe I included it in the link below, but if you're not familiar, there's a GoFundMe page for Kevin Smets. It's pretty fantastic. They have a goal to, I can't remember, actually not feel bad. I can't remember the goal. I think it was 15,000.
Yeah.
And last time I checked, there were a little over 7,000. So, every little bit counts. $1 here, $1 there, whatever it may be. Definitely if you can make that donation and, not only Kevin Smets and his beautiful, wonderful family, but also this is such a great community, and definitely want to. Yeah, sorry.
I want to say one more thing. Shout out to Dwayne Burke. He's doing a 24-hour stream in support of Alzheimer's disease, I believe. You all should also check that out. Love that guy as well. Love Dwayne.
Oh, Dwayne's amazing. I love Dwayne to death. Yes. All right. Well, guys, we are wrapping things up here. I'm Alex, part of the Call Action Crew. Please like and subscribe. You can also find me over at Schmoebates, which we chat a little bit here earlier. It's a show that Drew and I host where we dive into movies that challenge us personally and figure out what the heck is our bias for, against certain movies. What's my bias against Star Wars? What's our bias against action adventure? Find out on Cinema Bias. But also, this is something I like to do every single Wednesday when I can. Next week, we are having a Halloween episode, and it's going to be a weird episode. We are actually having Warfather up against Adam Witt. It's going to be weird. It's going to be kayfabe galore, and it's so much costumes. I love it. So get ready. Guys, like I said, you can also find us on audio podcast as well on Apple, Spotify, and all that good stuff. So please check those out and please leave it a rating. That'd be much appreciated. But guys, stay safe, wear a mask, and just keep watching movies. Bye.
Don't be an asshole.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Don't be an asshole while